Let's take a look at Module 4. The topic of Module 4 is leading in business. You have 3 chapters, a discussion, a community leadership project, and a team project. You also have an extra credit opportunity. Chapter 13 is all about motivation. And it's one of the most critical things that you'll do as a leader. You have to motivate others to do what needs to be done and to do what's right. If you're not directing people to do their best, then it may not happen. You have to be able to push and pull and prod all at the same time. As an entry-level manager, you may not even have the opportunity to fire someone for doing a poor job. So you have to find a way within your personality to motivate them to want to do well and to want to do the tasks that are necessary for business success. It's not easy. Your textbook introduces some different theories for how to make this happen, and you'll want to understand all of the different theories along with Maslow's 5 needs, and really understand that well, because that hierarchy is on both the final exam and the NOCTI test at the end of the program. One of the things that happens if people don't feel they're being treated equally is, well, it's called equity theory. So they'll do what they perceive they need to in order to make things more even. And it can get ugly. So it's important that you don't treat people unfairly, have favorites. It's important that you don't always give the same craft jobs to the same people, that kind of thing. That way everyone feels that they're in it together and that you're a team working toward common success. Negative reinforcement is another option you can use for motivation. If you don't do your job, you're fired. But that only goes so far, because if you don't have the power to fire someone, that's an empty threat. Or if you're always threatening to fire someone, it's an empty threat. So be careful what you say, because you have to be able to back it up, or you'll lose the respect of the people who work for you. Chapter 14 discusses leadership, and it gets into the different styles of leadership. Chances are you lean toward using one leadership style over another naturally, but it's important to be aware that the different options are available, because if one style isn't working for you, you may need to switch to a different style in order to have decisions made. For example, you might have a team that has to make a fast decision. They need to jump on an opportunity. That's really exciting. But if the traditional management style you use is decision making by consensus and committee, well, that can take a while. So you may have to change to a more authoritative leadership style in order to make a decision in a faster manner. So be aware of the different styles. Know whether you're charismatic or not, whether you're transformational. Are you the type of person that people want to follow because you're dynamic, or do they want to follow you because you're trustworthy? How does that all play in? So the more you know about your leadership, the better. And finally, chapter 15 is about communication. You have to be aware of how you are perceived when you're communicating. The first iteration I made of this video I thought was great. I pronounced everything very carefully. I spoke slowly. I was rocking it. Well, turns out that I came across, after I heard students' responses, that I came across more monotone and robot-like, and that's not what I want. So understanding how you're perceived when you're communicating really makes a difference in how people are going to respond to you. If I don't show that I'm excited about business, which I think is just the coolest thing ever, how can I expect you to be excited about business? If I don't think and share that communication makes all the difference in the effectiveness of leadership, how are you even going to know that it's an important thing? So as you're communicating with people, keep in mind the type of communication, whether it's formal, informal, whether it's nonverbal or verbal, how they might be receiving the message, and how you can share the message as effectively as possible the first time. Because if you have to do it again, it's taking both of your time or all of your time, and you may not have that easily available. Our next topic is a discussion, leaders versus managers. I expect a lot of discussion in here. I want you to bring in information from your textbook, and I want you to bring in articles and experiences and a little of everything. Make this something valuable and meaningful. But take a viewpoint. Which is more important, and what are the differences between being a leader and being a manager? Do you need both in an organization? Can you get by with just one? Is one more important than the other? How does all of it fit in together? So much you can discuss. So pick a viewpoint, share your information. What are the differences? How do they affect the success of a company? If you have too many leaders, is that good for a company? Is it bad for a company? Same thing about a manager. So as you're taking part, make sure your first post is this week by Wednesday night. And, Wednesday of the second week, but I'm hoping you'll get it in the first week because it's more fun if we have more time. I'm going to be jumping in as well, but don't let my participation slow you down. I'm looking for a lot of information from everybody. Next on our list is community leadership. Now, it's important for you to start building connections. You need to have that comfort with people that you may not ordinarily talk with on a day-to-day basis. One of the best ways you can do this is by getting involved in community leadership. That's where this assignment comes in. You're going to be attending a community leadership meeting sometime during this 3-week period. Now, there's lots of options. Here's a few options. There's a lot more meetings you could go to. Might be a Chamber of Commerce, City Council, Historic Preservation, Planning and Zoning, on and on and on. But there are a few no's. You cannot attend a religious or religious-related meeting. So no Boy Scout, no Girl Scout, anything that's church-related, no. But why, you might be asking? So the answer is because you already have comfort there. You have experience in that. Many of you do. I want to push you out of those comfort zones. I want your world to get bigger. So that's why you're going beyond that. Then you're going to be taking notes during the meeting, and you're going to introduce yourself to whoever was leading the meeting. You're going to get that person's name and contact information. Then you're going to write a 2 to 3 page paper that discusses the purpose of the group and discusses the topics that were covered during the meeting you attended. And then you'll submit that. Because meetings can be sporadic, make sure that you plan this one early. Okay, your team project. This is always a fun one. It used to be that managers could just say, do what I tell you to do or you're fired. That's gone by the wayside, especially when unemployment is low. So if you're going to be able to keep employees employed, because training costs more money, you need to keep them happy. Now, you probably wouldn't have the opportunity to be able to give raises, especially as an introductory manager. So you have to find other ways, non-monetary ways, to be able to motivate people. Your textbook talks about different ways you can motivate people. There are a ton of resources online that can help you with this topic. So now here's the project. I'm so excited. You start with the development of your team charter. You already have your team set, so you're ready to go there. Then you, as a team, have the autonomy to develop your own project. You're going to do whatever you want, as long as it's on the topic and somehow related to motivating employees. Scope, format, up to you. I've had students create a video. I've had them do research papers. I had one create a game. Totally up to you. Your finished project needs to represent at least 7 to 10 hours of combined effort, and I want you to track that in your team charter. I want to be able to see that you've documented what's been completed by each team member. That way I know how to assign grades. And the rubric for the project is 10% grammar and spelling, because you're adults and you're college students, so you need to be able to write like it. 30% creativity. Show me something fun. Make me want to grade this. 30% effective team procedures. So I need to be able to see that you can work through your live document, your team charter, throughout the project, keeping track of all the different stages and phases, and have everything in place. So that's why it's worth so much. 20% logical and informative information presented. If you give me a surface level, boring item, you're going to get a crappy grade. I trust you're going to put time, effort, and information into this, and your grade will reflect that. And then 10% for your quality of finished project. That just means, did you make sure everything is in the same font? Or if you are creating a video, did you take time to have the person in the same shirt? If you're filming 3 different shots that are supposed to be, as they're sitting in a desk. People don't normally change clothes 3 times in 5 minutes or 2 minutes. So make sure you pay attention to detail. You'll be reviewing team members' participation and involvement at the end, and that will be contributing to your grade. So I will use that and reflect on that as I'm coming up with grades, as I have in the previous assignments. You likely have at least one non-participating student. You may not. You'll have to see. But make sure that you start off by assigning tasks to all team members. And then if someone fails to perform, weed out non-participating members and include in your team charter notified that they will not be added to team tasks until they respond to the emails that have been sent on such and such and such and such. I encourage you to make that first posting, that first assignment. Hey, say hello in the team area. Do something early, like Wednesday night of this week, so that you know who you can count on moving forward. So I will be checking in on your team charter as the assignment progresses and throughout this 3 weeks. And I need to be able to jump in at any time and see that your team charter is current. And then here's the good news. This is the last team project for this class. Woo! Yay! So depending upon what you create, you might be uploading a URL, a media recording, a file upload. So let's see what you come up with, and we'll figure it out to get it submitted. Enjoy. Your team review is right below the project title. And then last is the synopsis. It's in the news. It's extra credit. And what I'm asking you to do is to find an interesting online article related to business, write a paragraph synopsis, and then in the second paragraph, discuss how the article and the information in the article applies to what you're learning in class. It's worth up to 10 points. And you can repeat that process for up to 3 submissions, well, 3 separate articles. So you can earn up to 30 points. That's it. You have 3 weeks to be able to complete this, weeks 12, 13, and 14. Then we will be jumping into Module 15, which is only open 2 weeks, but it's a little bit shorter. Let me know if you have questions. I'm here to help. Thank you.